welcome everybody to another episode of Ready, Set, Pop. My name is Mariel Basori, greeting you all the way from the beautiful Mexico City, and I would like to introduce you to my co-hosts, Lucas Abate from Brazil and Mauricio Sierra from Colombia. Hi guys!
Hey guys, how
Hi,
are you?
Mariel. Hi, Luquitas. How are you guys?
So good to be back. Thank you.
Yes, I'm so excited to see you. And for today's episode, this topic was chosen by our friend Lucas and is all about pop rock girls. We are focusing on those that were like some kind of anti-Britney, that were trying to focus on a more rock-oriented music. And we will start with Lucas, who will be telling us all about those that were the most popular in the early 2000s. Then I will go to those that were a little underrated and not so popular. And then we will jump to our friend Mauricio, who is going to talk about some that were R&B rock oriented, and also those Christian music artists that are pop rock oriented music. So I hope you guys enjoy this video because
Yeah.
this is about to rock. Okay. Anyway, okay. So Lucas, tell us all about those anti-Britney singers from the early 2000s.
Okay, hey guys. First of all, I gotta say that this is my world, like the pop rock girls. I will always be like a 13-old girl writing songs for the ex-boyfriend, very angry with her guitar. This is my soul. I'm not ashamed of that. And I gotta say that Mariel looks a lot like Michelle Brains today. I don't know if you did on purpose, but you are kind of Michelle.
Um,
Wow.
Goodbye to you video.
I
I don't know.
I didn't expected that. I actually was no, I didn't plan it.
Yeah, but you do. And uh, I gotta be honest that maybe I talk a lot in this episode because it's a subject that I adore. So I will start talking about Michelle Branch. Of course, she's my favorite singer ever. But I gotta say that this is not an episode like against Britney because, as you guys know, we love Britney Spears. We made our first episodes like the Pop Princess, and to be honest, Britney is such a strong name that this wave of pop rock girls was named the Anti-Britney. So if we didn't have Britney Spears, not even this wave of pop rock girls could happen. That was how big Britney Spears was and is in this industry. So let's start by this. So Michelle Branch, uh, before she got signed for a record company, she recorded one independent album called The Broken Bracelet that I just can't believe, but I have here in my hands.
Whoa.
Yes, it's
Wow.
very rare and very beautiful. I love the photos because she she didn't make any makeup, and she had like this bird mark in her face, and on the photos you can see that.
Oh.
And this was kind of the start for her. And when she got signed, she basically re-recorded this album in her first record, The Spirit Room, with a few new tracks and a better production of John Shanks, who became like a big producer in this anti-Britney era. Well, at the same time, Avril Lavigne was discovered, but differently from Michelle. Avril Lavigne was discovered in purpose to be this girl, this rock girl, because the rock scene was
Okay.
growing up on the charts with the boys. It was very common to see pop rock bands on number one on Billboard, like Lifehouse did, and we had Three Doors Down, The Calling, and a lot of rock bands like making music and going very well on the charts. So it was very common that the record labels wanted the girls to be inside in this work, um, especially because we had this similar wave in the 90s with Alanis Morissette, who is an eternal big influence for all the girls who makes this kind of music. And Michelle was
Mhm.
signed by the Maverick Records, the same label that Alanis Morissette was part of at the time. And this label was owned by Madonna, so it's very cool. And Avril Lavigne was signed by Arista and L.A. Reid, which was who signed Pink too. So at this point, 2001, media was very against pop music, saying that everything sounded the same. It was very fabricated, not organic, and people are getting tired of the sound that we love so much from the pop music. So it happens with more strain. I think this is going to be a fun fact for Mauricio, but it happens with more strain after Alicia Keys uh, became a hit. She was in pop rock, she was in more R&B, but for the very first time, people were loving to see a teenager girl playing the piano and writing their own songs. And she won like 5 Grammys, I believe, with her first record. So the record labels start to pay attention on this not sexual blondie Barbie image. So we have Michelle Branch and Avril Lavigne recording the album. We had Pink making more R&B sound, but she has the rock roots because she was very fan of Four Non Blondes, the band who sang "What's Up." You guys know the song. And I say, hey, yeah, yeah, yeah. Linda Perry was the vocalist. Yeah,
Of
I
course.
say.
yeah. And Pink was very fan. Pink
Oh.
called to Linda Perry like, I wanted to do music with you, and she never expected to have an answer. And Linda Perry replied, and they worked on Misunderstood, the second album by Pink, which is very more pop rock. And
Mhm.
what was the high for this term, anti-Britney, was actually the BBC News made this um, this on the newspaper a whole thing talking about those girls and saying how they were not sexual, and all the girls were saying that they don't want to be like Britney. Even Michelle. Michelle was never like very. The way she wore the clothes was very simple. She was like the girl next door, but she was talking
Mhm.
about this too. I cannot say that she wasn't. But with Avril Lavigne, I think the thing was more fabricated, because at the start she wanted to make more folk and country music, and suddenly things were changing. She worked with a lot of producers until she met the Matrix, and finally we have the Let Go album. When this happened, the first album by Michelle Branch was out in a while. She was on tour, and so Michelle was very simple, as I said, and Avril Lavigne suddenly is a character. You have the clothes, they
Mhm.
skate, and she's constantly talking about the pop girls. And for me, it was very fabricated. So the same way that happened with the pop girls, we said on the track one, every label wanted to have their own Britney Spears. Suddenly, all the label wanted to have Avril Lavigne. And the media was like making her saying things about Britney constantly, and they were like putting Avril Lavigne this high and Britney Spears this low. And I remember that they were like, Avril Lavigne is selling a lot of records. Oh my god! And Britney Spears is not anymore. But if you compare like Britney Spears' Britney album, which was released close to Let It Go by Avril Lavigne, sold the same. Uh, and it was the third album by Britney. The first one was like, there's no comparison with Let It Go by Avril Lavigne, which was a huge album, but the Britney was way bigger. So this is something about media once again, making Britney Spears the center of a thing, even if it's good or even if it's bad. I'm talking about this,
Mhm.
but to be honest, the sound of this wave is my favorite. Uh, so basically, every girl that released an album back then, I love it. So Michelle Branch is my favorite singer. Hotel Paper is my favorite album, as I said. So I feel so happy that we had this organic and rock and guitar music, especially because I was starting to become a teenager, and it was very special for me, and are the songs that I feel most in my heart. So is very important, but I can't deny the media was cruel with Britney. We could have like both things going on. Like the girls are doing the pop rock, the girls are doing the pop stuff, but we know that do not happen like this, right? I have the albums here that are very important. That I say, the Let Go by Avril Lavigne. I have I
I
have
have it too.
yes. Oh,
I have it
I love
too.
when that
Oh,
happens.
yay!
You didn't expect that. You
Yes.
you didn't expect that I have it too.
I want to show something
That's
that
great.
will not be that easy to grab, but I would try. I have this box. Uh,
Wow.
yeah, that
What is
someone
that? I
from
want
my
to know.
past gave me. Uh, he's not in my life anymore, but at least one thing good he did. And
Okay.
inside of this box, there's my Michelle collection with the singles and the album. And here is the hotel paper, my favorite ever. I have
Wow.
a few singles. I love this one. Till I Get Over You is very beautiful.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a
Wow.
promo. Let me see what else I have. I have the singles with Santana. I have the country EP, Everything Comes and Goes. And I have the newest, Hopeless Romantic. It's not the newest. We have another one already, but I don't have yet. So this is the last one.
I love that one.
Yeah.
Oh
Mhm.
wow, this is very rare, yeah.
Well, we have a lot of girls to talk about. As I said, labels wanted their own Avril Lavigne's back then, and none of them could be on the top of the charts. So we have Mariel to talk more about those girls. Please, Mariel.
Yes. Well, I could talk about a lot of singers out there, but I decided to choose only a few for today's episode because I think these are the ones that weren't so popular, but were had their success.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna start with Lucy Woodward, um, British American singer and songwriter who released her first song in 2002, 3, called Dumb
Yeah,
Girls,
2003.
which peaked at 2003, yes, which peaked at number 112 um, on the charts. It didn't do so well, but the song somehow was trying to say that, dumb girls are blondes, and like trying to relate to that subject of, I don't want to be the typical blonde.
Yes.
I don't want to be confused with dumb girls, even though the song has a different meaning. But I think that the concept of releasing a song called "Dumb Girls" was aiming to those pop stars from back in the day. We also had in Canada, which seems to be a place where pop rock girls are born.
Yeah.
We had Sky Sweetnam,
Yes.
who released her debut album when she was, oh yes, I love that one. Her debut album,
Oh wow.
Noise from the Basement, when she was only 16 years old. And her song Billy Shakespeare became, well, Billy S, became the most popular one because it was featured on a Mandy Moore movie called How to Deal.
Yes.
And that song did manage to enter the charts and had some success in Japan, which is crazy. You wouldn't believe that someone so young would have that success in such a foreign country like Japan. But Sky was like a response to Avril Lavigne, our younger Avril Lavigne, because when Noise from the Basement was released, Avril Lavigne must have been like 18, 19, and Sky was 16. So she was like I'm continuing on this same line
Yeah.
of pop rock girls from Canada. So
Here in
yeah,
Brazil, when the
kind of
album
crazy.
was released, I remember to see online the title, "The New Avril Lavigne" from for Sky.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and even though they were trying to release Sky Sweetnam as an anti-Britney concept, Sky toured with Britney Spears on her own hotel tour. She
that's
was the
right.
opening act in Canada, so it's kind of crazy. So, well, anyway, jumping forward, now we have one that I love. I have two of her albums here, and she was a response to her sister, and I'm talking about Ashley Simpson.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
I have her first
Of
two albums
course.
here with me. Uh, I love Ashley. Actually, I was listening to her first album today to just to remember some of her lyrics because I don't listen to this album so much. But Ashley was a response to her sister Jessica, and actually Jessica mentions that in her book that they released her sister to be her competition, but in a more rock oriented area and to be more wild, more sassy, more naughty because Jessica was singing about love, about being faithful, about like everything is pink and beautiful.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, there comes Ashley with a more aggressive uh lyrics, like
Yeah.
I don't care if I have sex before marriage, I don't care if I look my best. She's like the complete opposite of Jessica, which is crazy.
Yeah.
And she did very well because her first two albums picked at number one on the Billboard Hot 200, and she had almost all of her singles managed to enter the
Yeah.
charts.
And it
So
was very funny to
she was
see Ashley on the reality show. I don't know if you guys watch it, the Ashley Simpson show, because she did like a lot of things that probably her dad was telling her to do, like when she went brunette from blonde, so it was like a punk thing, and she was constantly saying, I don't want to be Hilary Duff. I am no Hilary Duff," but she was working with the same producers of Hilary Duff, and the sound is not that different. So it's very funny. Look, now that she wasn't that rock like we thought as teenagers,
no,
right?
and she was even a dancer for Jessica Simpson's
Yes,
videos.
yes,
So yeah, it's weird to see her like in that transformation. It was all marketing, I know,
yeah,
but it was fun to see them two compete in the music industry, but one being the sweet girl and the other one being the complete opposite,
yes,
the
you're right.
sassy one, the naughty one.
Yes,
So yeah, I could mention you a lot more. And I was thinking, I don't know if you guys know, but Academy Award winner Brie Larson released an album
yes,
way back in 2004 called Finally Out of PE.
yes.
She didn't have
I have it
the
here
same success
somewhere.
as Ah, I Hate You.
Oh, really?
Yes,
I
I
can't
gotta
believe it.
find.
Yeah?
Yes,
Yes.
I
Oh, well,
found it.
Brie didn't have the same success as Hilary Duff or other
I
teenage
can't
pop rock
believe it.
singers.
Wow.
Wow, I love that. I love that
Me
album.
too.
Like I was saying, she didn't have the same success as other teenage pop rock singers like Hilary Duff or uh Ashley Simpson because there was like a huge wave of pop rock singers, but she did have like uh, her moment of success with her single She Said, and which was moderately played on radios,
Yes.
especially Radio Disney is the one that used to play Brie Larson. And she later went on to continue with her acting career. Now she's a successful actress. But for those who don't know, Brie started
Yeah.
as an actress, yes, but also as a singer.
She sold
So,
only
Oh,
4,000
wow.
copies of this album. You guys believe that?
dang,
Yes.
One
what a
is yours.
shame.
It's
One
amazing.
is mine. Yeah. And I have the single She Said too. My favorite's Life After You, but this here is like a proof that something that I forgot to mention in my part. So I will say excuse me, Mariel too just added this.
No, no, no. Go
But the
ahead.
pop rock music kind of became the pop music because I don't believe that Hilary Duff or Lindsay Lohan would make so much pop rock music if it wasn't for that wave, because those girls weren't more anti-Britney, but suddenly the pop music was that. So because of that, this album, like from Hilary Duff, you got Mariel can show too, is not,
I don't have
yeah,
it.
it's not
I
that
hate
different
you.
from
I love that
from the
album.
rock era, and this continue with this, which
Yes.
is a classic, Kelly Clarkson Breakaway.
Mm.
So this kind of
Mm-hmm.
became the main pop music. I have the Lindsay Lohan too that I will not find right now, but I can give another examples, uh, like Ellie and AJ. So I believe those girls. I will wait for Marielle.
I have their
Yes,
Insomniatic
yes.
album.
I believe if that wave anti-Britney didn't happen, those girls, Hilary Duff, Lindsay Lohan, Kelly Clarkson, and LAJ would be way more pop, like we were listening to Jessica Mendy and not this pop
Mm-hmm.
rock. So this was definitely the new pop sounds on the radio. So
Mm-hmm.
continue, Marielle. Thank
Mm-hmm.
you.
Definitely. No, yo, thank you, Lucas. I was going to say that there were other pop rock singers, but these ones are more like underrated, like Hope Partlow. Do you guys
Ah, yeah,
remember
I love
Hope?
Who We Are. It's a great song.
Who we are? And
No,
she actually has a
I'm
song.
learning.
Yeah, she has a song called Sick Inside that was later covered by Brazilian singer Vanessa
Yes.
called Chamada Atenção.
Which is way
Yeah,
better,
which
I
I
gotta
love.
say.
I love. Is way better.
Way
Yes,
better.
it's completely amazing that song. Yeah, and she well, Hope Partlow was like one of those very underground
Yes.
singers. I can mention you others that were kind of successful, like Kate Wagel. I don't know if I'm pronouncing
Yes, it's
correctly, but
Vogel.
because of Wagel, yeah,
Here.
she has a weird last name. I love her.
Yes,
Yes.
me too. There's one.
Yes, I love Kate Wiggle. Yes, that album, A Fine Mess, is definitely one of my
Wow.
favorites.
Yeah.
Her song 99 Times is amazing.
Yeah.
And a little late came another pop rock singer that I love, and I have her album here, which is Ashline Hoffs.
Yeah.
I adore this woman. I adore this album. This is the EP, but she has other full length albums. This EP has 6 songs, and her song "Heart of Gold" is definitely one of the biggest gems of pop rock
Yeah.
out there.
She's also
So, well,
Canadian.
for me, at
She's
least for me.
Canadian, right?
I'm not really sure. I think yes, I think she is, but anyway, she's amazing. I love Ashline Hoff, and now she's completely dedicated to something else. I think she's selling like real estate, so she's like completely out of the music world. But she's a great singer and songwriter because she writes all of her music. And well, I can mention you a bit more, but since I was just focusing on these ones, I will now jump to Mauricio, who will tell us all about the singers from the CCM and some R&B out there. So Mauricio, it's all yours.
Mau. Wait.
Okay,
I don't
guys.
wanna. I don't
Okay.
wanna stop you, but I think there's two more important for us to mention, if you guys allowed me. This is the
Of course.
team that I
Go
love,
ahead, my
so
friend.
I'm going to be extra. We forgot to
It's all
mention
yours.
Katie Rose. She
Oh yes.
she was kind of popular. She was on TRL back then, and she sang Overdrive, the main theme from Mean Girls. And one of my favorites was Marion Raven. She was part of M2M.
Oh.
And for a moment, this album was all that mattered in my life in 2005. I remember I have this friend, Rafael. Shout out to Rafa. He used to send me songs when we were teenager, and there he introduced me to Marion's solo career. And in some point, he sent me songs, and I was like, "This is not sounding like Marion Raven. I don't want to listen." And I hated everything for a while because I only loved this. So it's very, very special, her career on pop rock music. So sorry
It's
again.
actually funny that you mentioned. I'm sorry, before I jump into Mal, it's so funny that you mentioned Marion Raven because she started as a pop, bubblegum pop
Yes.
singer in M2M, and then all of a sudden she just jumped into this rock era, and you couldn't believe it. But she did, and
Yeah.
she did a great
Yeah, it
job.
was with her, everything was very dark, and like her name is Raven, so she used the bird Raven to everything. So
Mm-hmm.
it was like a little bit gothic, but the sound was great because she was produced by Max Martin and Dr. Luck. They were doing most of those songs like they did in the pop era, so it was good.
Yes. So now, before we go into something else, it's Mao's turn.
Monster.
So bring it all, my friend.
Okay, my friends, it's amazing to hear this addition because I have a lot of information, but I have to be honest right now, and I had to do my research again because I'm not like very connected to this wave at that time, even in the CCM, even in like some artists that I know maybe were R&B at that time and try to do something like pop rock. But first of all, I want to say thank you to my friend Fernando Bonifacio from Argentina because he was one of the persons that helped me so much in this research because he's a huge fan of the CCN scene and the CCN world and has a lot of information of that. So thank you, Fernando. And another thing that is important is at that time I hated so much this wave because I remember at that time, as you as the audience know, and as you know, guys, I love Stacey Rico, and at that time I was so obsessed with Stacy. So at that time when Avril Lavigne came out, I was so mad because I was thinking she was like the competition for Stacy. And I have a very good friend of mine that was very in love and very obsessed with Avril Lavigne. And a lot of my friends at that time, a lot of my girlfriends at that time were so obsessed with Avril Lavigne. So at that time I hated that wave because I didn't feel connected in any way of that movement of music. So well, the time goes by and now I love a lot of the work of these girls from that era, from that time. And well, I'm going to talk about the CCN ones. First of all, of course, I want to mention this girl. I was like the Avril Lavigne, the Christian Avril Lavigne, because as I mentioned in every video, CCN, I don't want to say have their own versions, but it's something like that. Like it's like a trend in music, and Christian music industry try to find um, a representation of that. So I want to mention Crystal Mayers. Crystal Mayers was the Christian Avril Lavigne. I this time I want to share with you that it was no like she was very organic in her music because she was a songwriter too. She was working in her music too. So I think that it was not so to for her. It was not like I want to be like the Christian Avril Lavigne. I think she was very inspired by rock music, and she was a very genuine artist because at that time she another fun fact that these girls from the CCM world always mention like secular music as their influences. So this time, for example, for Crystal Mayers, their influences were like Finch, Dashboard, Confessional, Blind, Side, and a lot of like rock bands. She grew up listening to this kind of music. So for her, it was so natural to do this kind of music because she was influenced by these rock bands. She also played the guitar. She also was like a songwriter. So she was the perfect formula to be the Christian Avril Lavigne. So I think for her it was so. I think it's unfair to say that she's like a version of someone else because she was very genuine. She was very like very organic her work. I assume this is very organic, but for the scene at that time it was perfect to have this
Brazilian
artist.
people
Another
disagree
artist
of
that I
you.
oh
Yeah,
really
I gotta tell you why. Because in the 2000s, we had a huge social media here in Brazil called Orkut, which you had communities like I love Avril Lavigne, I love Britney Spears, and people join on this and talk about those subjects. And we had a Crystal Mayer's conspiracy theory that was
oh I want to know
huge
that
here in
about
Brazil
that.
because people, after a while, she disappeared. She made a few albums, very rock and roll, similar to Avril Lavigne. The last album, there's an I like those things they say that Beyonce is. I don't remember the name, like in a cult or something.
Like
Uh, and
okay.
they were saying that she she was like her dad made her pretend to be Christian to make music and became rich, and she was like asking for help in the covers of the albums. There was a lot of theory, and then she disappeared forever because no one knew. I know that she only got married and gave up on music, but people here in Brazil believed in that so much that she was kind of popular for a moment here. So it's funny.
Okay, okay. It's so nice to have this information, and it's so nice to
It's
know
interesting.
this story because yeah, very interesting because I didn't know about that. And it's like very weird to know that a Christian singer like Christian Mayers was famous in or a little bit famous in a part of the time in a place
Yeah.
like Brazil because she was very like in the Christian music industry in the US. She was popular, but
Yes.
nowhere else. So yeah, it's very good to know. Um, she was part of a Christian boot camp or something like that, where teenagers go to like I don't know. We are not very familiarized with that because we are Latins, we are Latinos, but this is very common in US, like these camps where they go to do different activities. So in this place, she wrote a song that is called Anti-Conformity and is one of the biggest singles from her, and it's very faithful. I mean, like the message in the song is like very I want to be guided by God. I want to like express this kind of feeling that I have this faith in God, and it's very nice to have this from this girl. So to be in her defense, I have to say she was not very interested to be like an Avril Lavigne.
Okay.
She was interested in make music, I think. Yeah, the oh, and actually, I think one of the reasons that she were labeled as a Christian Avril Lavigne was she worked with Ian Skelling or something like that, a guy that worked also with Avril Lavigne. So of course, this kind of producers and people that worked with her at that time wanted to wanted for her to have this image to be like this kind of representation. Another girl that was so important in the CCM world at that time was Jessie Daniels.
I was
I
hoping you
assume
to talk about
Lucas
her.
know her. Yeah, I don't know if Mariel know this girl.
I have to say, in my wide known,
Oh wow,
no.
Lucas have the CD.
Oh wow. So yes, I didn't know about her. So which is weird because I know some of those rare artists, but I didn't. So it's good to be introduced to something
Yeah, you gotta
new.
listen.
Well,
Okay, great.
for me, like it was new because at that time I didn't know her, and it was part of this because of my research and because of Fernando because he mentioned this girl. She was like the second. She was very popular. She was influenced, and it's a fun fact that she was influenced by Michelle Branch, Kelly Clarkson, and Stacey Rico. So it's very nice to know that because she was influenced at that time because
Yes.
these singers in the mainstream part, in the pop rock part by Michelle Branch and Kelly Clarkson, and in the CCM part by Stacey Rico. So it's amazing to know that she even. I want to mention also that these girls at that time in the Christian music industry had very a long budget to invest in their videos because Crystal Mayers and Jesse Daniels have videos. So it's not very common in the CCN industry to for their artists to have
Yeah.
videos because it's very expensive to shoot a video. So it's very important to notice that they were making an investment in
Yeah.
these girls to happen to yeah to happen for these girls. So they these girls Jessie Daniels went well in the Christian charts. She was very popular. I don't remember, to be honest, to listen to this girl at that time in the Christian radio, in the Christian radio station. I was like a fan of the Christian music in the of the Christian radio stations at that time. I was
Yeah.
listening all the time these stations, and I don't remember Jessie Daniels, but she was very important, her and her message was very faith, of course,
Yeah.
very religious, very believing in God, and yeah, her lyrics are very like in
I
this
live at this
kind
Mal.
of
This
like
was
movement.
part of my life when it was out in 2006. I discovered her because I used to see the media charts every single day, which was media base charts. It was a chart that showed everything that radios in the US played on the day before, like not only the top 40 or like the whole list was like 1,000 songs. So I
Okay,
used to discover like a lot of things, and some radios were playing the single The Noise, which is the first. And I discovered her, and I was reading about her, and I discovered that she was influenced by Michelle. And in this interview she said that she met Michelle and she was the nicest person, and you can perceive that Michelle is an influence in the whole album. There's a lot of Michelle in this. So I remember to listen this not as a CCM artist because I don't know if it's on purpose, but the lyrics are lyrics that you can interpretate like she's talking about God or she's talking about love
God
or
or
a
a boy.
boy. Like the
Yeah,
song "Every Day" I
yeah.
was is my favorite, and the song she's saying like every day I try to tell you, like she want to tell God how she felt, but it also can be she want to say to a boy that she loves him. So it's amazing. This is my favorite CCM pop rock album ever. I'm so glad
Wow.
you brought it.
I I
I will definitely
I
have to listen to that one because I don't
yeah,
know.
Yes.
yeah.
I don't know if it's available on digital platforms, but if it's
Yeah,
not,
On
it's
Spotify
available.
is
oh,
It's
not.
available
Is
great.
because I was
available on
listening. Yeah, yeah.
Apple
Uh,
Music and Tidal. On Spotify here in Brazil is
Tidal. Yeah,
not. So I
it's
don't know in Mexico. But if you want, we can share.
oh because
oh,
yeah, because in Tidal
okay.
it's
Okay.
available. Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
yeah,
So
and it was
if I can find it, please share
Of
it with
course,
me,
yes.
guys.
of course, of course, of course. And if I understand why you like this girl, because if I have to label this girl, I have to say like it's like the CCM
Yes.
Michelle Branch. It's like the Christian
You're
version of
right.
Michelle Branch. Even in her look,
Yeah.
even in her hair, because she was brunette, she was with the black hair. So yeah, I understand why you like this girl. And the other that were not a girl, it was a group. Was Barrel Girl.
Yes.
These girls were very, I think this movement have a typical sound like very rebel sound and aggressive. These girls were more, oh my god, I can't believe you have that a lot of cities by this artist. Do you have anything by Crystal
Not
Mayers,
anymore.
Luquitas?
As I told you guys,
Ah, but
yeah,
you
this
used to.
year I have my store and I needed money, so I cut a few artists from my collection, and Crystal Mayers was one of them.
Oh,
Also,
okay.
I believe I have on my
Okay,
store
okay.
yet. Uh, if you want, I don't know, but I don't have any more in my collection.
Okay, okay, okay.
What a shame.
That's
Yeah.
very nice. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But in the case of the Barlow girls, I perceive these girls more like acoustic, like very guitar, very like the voices in harmonies. I perceive these girls that they were very inspired, like people like the Beatles or the Mamas and the Papas, and this
Yeah.
kind of music. Actually, it's very interesting to know that these girls were influenced not by Christian rock bands. They were very influenced by mainstream rock bands or mainstream singers. So it's interesting to know because as I mentioned in other videos, guys, Christian music industry and Christian church are very strict about what people
Yeah.
is listening. And it's almost like it's forbidden to listen to mainstream music because of the message. So it's very interesting for me to know that these girls were very influenced in another kind of music. So they are three girls, three sisters, and they released her CD in 2004. So in this moment was like the wave of this kind of music during these years. I think since 2002 to maybe
Yeah.
2006,
And
I think. And I want to
no,
go
please,
ahead,
please
Lucas.
say.
Okay, I want to mention a girl that is very, very famous and was part of this movement, but not with good results. It's very funny, and it's Katy Perry.
Ah, right.
When she used, yeah, yeah, when she was Katie Hudson, she released her album. She was terrible in the charts. The album didn't make it like nothing. She was like terrible. And then when she tried to go to the mainstream, I can't believe I can remember right now what was the label, but the label wanted to her to be the Avril Lavigne, like
Oh
another
yeah.
Avril Lavigne. She said that in an interview. Yeah, but talking about the album, I do remember Katie Hudson at that time because two of their songs from that album, there is a song like is Trust or Trusting or something like that, and there is another song that is Piercing. Well, two songs were on rotation at that time in the Christian music radio station that I used to listen at that time. So I remember Katie
Yeah.
Hudson. It's funny because when I saw Katy Perry, I didn't realize that it was her. It was like
Uh-huh.
later because she looked
Yeah.
so different. So for me, it was not easy to recognize this girl at that time. But it's funny because right now she's a huge star. She's a huge pop singer, like a pop sensation. So a lot of people know, but it's amazing to have this
Yeah.
information because maybe there are people that don't know she started in the
Yeah. And
CCN
this,
world.
what you say about the
Another,
overloving part of Katy Perry, uh, I mentioned that The Matrix were the producers by Let It Go by Avril Lavigne, and they
oh
tried to make The
yeah,
Matrix as a band in a moment, I believe 2004 or something,
oh
and the Katy
okay,
Perry was the vocalist alongside with another guy, and the album leaked. We have
Oh,
online the tracks is not that good. I don't know because The Matrix was uh, very awesome producers, but it didn't work. It Katy Perry had a long way until I Kissed a Girl. So it's very good to mention this.
and for
yes.
example, if you look the Katie Hudson CD online, it's expensive as
Yes.
crazy. Like it's very, very expensive. So it's like a gem. So right now I think maybe I had the opportunity to buy this CD back in the day
Oh
in the
yeah.
church and I didn't
Yeah.
I didn't take
We need a
advantage
time
of that.
machine for our
So
collection for
yes,
sure.
yes, yes. Yeah, yeah, I need it. I need it, Luquitas. I need it right now. So, another fact that I want to mention, people that start like making some bubble gum and then move to the pop rock scene, like Joy Williams and So
Yeah,
Girl. Joy Williams started doing like in the Pop Princess episode. I mentioned Joy Williams because she was an important part of this like bubblegum movement. But then in the Genesis album, she started doing like this kind of pop rock, and I think it goes with her.
yeah.
Like it matched with her. I perceive her
I love
more
We.
rock
The song
in
We is
comparison
so
to
good.
pop. Yeah, yeah, and we was
Yes.
a single, so yeah, 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 and did very well in the charts, in the Christian charts, and So Girl with the album Different Kind of Free, they were like with the song You Get Me, they and all the album is very pop rock, so I only wanted to mention this because yeah, these girls were part of the bubblegum movement and then moved
Yeah.
to the pop
I
rock
was about
scene.
to ask you that
And
actually,
yeah,
because as I mentioned before, this kind of song became the pop in some point, and I wanted to know if how that happened on CCM, and you gave two perfect examples for us.
yeah, 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 yeah. And as you said, Luquitas, as I mentioned, Christian music industry all the time wanted to have this impact in kids, like in young people. To well, if you like Avril Lavigne, you have an option in the
Yeah,
Christian music. Like sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not, because I think, for example, in the Crystal Mayors case, it's not fair for her to be like the version of someone else because she was a real singer, because she was a real artist, like a songwriter. Okay, she wanted to make pop rock music, but it's not fair for her to be, oh, okay, you are
yeah, you're right.
The Christian Avril Lavigne, because she was very genuine. So yeah, and talking about the R&B,
I'm sorry, Mal. Before
you were
you
about to.
jump,
Okay, yeah.
before you jump into the R&B ones, I just wanted to mention that, just like you said that Zoe Girl and Joy Williams had like this bubblegum type. Another one that did the same thing was my idol Crystal Lewis, um, who recorded a lot of like Christian music, obviously, and then
Yeah.
she remained Christian until she released her album Fearless, which is a complete pop rock production, as well as her Pure and Simple album from 2011. Yeah, those two albums are like way too pop rock. Just to
Great.
mention someone that did the same thing.
Yeah, and now that you mentioned that, I believe that Crystal Lewis deserve a whole episode or talk about more of her, because she has a huge catalog and different kind of soul, CCN, of course, some anthems for Christian music, like these classic anthems. She has a lot of music. So yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes.
It's crazy because she did rock and pop rock too. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you,
Yes,
Mariel. Thank
Crystal
you.
is an
It's
amazing singer, and she has experience in several genres. So that's why I thought it would be interesting to mention her, because she does not also sing to, like, regular Christian contemporary music, but she has also mixed, like rock, and now that she sings jazz, so she's a very
yeah,
complete
yeah,
artist.
yeah. And it's because
Okay.
I think she was very influenced in soul and jazz music. And the type of her voice is very soulful, is very jazzy. So yeah, yeah, yeah. And well, talking about the R&B girls, I want to mention one, and maybe Lucas can like be a complement for my
Okay.
information. So one is now is Muni Long. She's called Muni Long right now, but she used to be known as the name of Priscilla Renee. She is not very famous right now. She's very very famous in the R&B scene. She released her album that is called Jukebox. It was very. She's a black girl, of course. She released this album very pop rock in 2009, I think. Yeah, in 2009. And now she's doing like contemporary R&B music. So it's very interesting to have like a black girl doing pop rock because it's usual to have these black girls with these
Yeah.
soulful voices doing R&B or soul or this kind of music. So it was very interesting for her to make her debut in the pop rock scene. So she was not like so successful in this with this album, and now right now I love her music. I love her as Muni Long. That is the name that she is using right now. I love her. She has a song that is called Hours and Hours, and it's one of my favorite songs. I love she's very soulful. I love she's very R&B, and I think not because she's black. I'm not saying that, but I think that she's better doing R&B and soul that in comparison she's when she did the pop rock CD and the pop rock album. So yes, another girl is Fifi Dobson, and I want to share this information that I have, but I think Lucas have more information about this girl.
No, please say first, and I can compliment after.
Okay. Well, she in any time she wanted to be like
Yeah,
an R&B
never.
star. She wanted to be a pop rock girl. So she's Canadian, as Mariel said. Canada is like the place for this kind of
Yeah.
pop rock girls. So for her was so unfair too because she had at that time to compete with Avril Lavigne, and for nobody is a secret that for Avril Lavigne was easier because she was blonde, because she was
Yeah.
white, and Fifi Dobson was a black girl. So she had to fought very hard to have her CD and to release her
Yes.
record as a pop rock girl because she was a real pop rock girl. So at that time, the label wanted for her to be like Brandy, but maybe more pop. So like a pop star, yeah, like a Brandy, very polished and with this voice. But she didn't want that for her career. So I'm not very connected to the Fifi Dobson's music. It's maybe not my thing, but I admire this girl for the decisions that she
Yeah.
made in the past because she was very brave at that time. She was very brave. So, well, look at
Well,
us.
as you
Compliment, please, my
said, she was always a
information.
rock girl. She didn't want to make R&B. I have all her discography. I love it, and she's one of
Oh,
my
that's
favorites
amazing.
for sure. And what we know about this is that at first she struggled to release a pop rock music, of course, but when Avril Lavigne was a thing, it wasn't that hard for her to be signed. Besides all the racial thing, her sound was in the
Mm-hmm.
moment, so she had her moment.
Okay.
But the label was constantly trying to make her more R&B because she was black and she was from the same label that Rihanna was at first, and so
Okay.
she knows that suddenly the money that was directly to her career was moved to Rihanna, and this didn't happen only with 50 Dobson. A lot of girls were like vanished from the music industry to put money on Rihanna. I don't know if you guys know that. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Christina
for
Milian, for
Yes.
example,
example.
a
Christina.
Mary,
Mm-hmm.
Tiara Mary, yes,
Hey, Mary, yeah.
all those
Tara Mary,
girls,
Yes.
yeah.
and that happened with Fifi because she had a second album to be released and it was canceled. with two singles out, Don't Let It Go to Your Hand and This Is My Life. The album is now on the platforms, but she was on the limbo for long years, only writing music for another artists like Miley Cyrus and Selena Gomez. And then uh, back. She come back to her music in 2010, I believe 2010, 2011, the album Joy. This album, she mixed a little more pop things. So in this song Stuttering, which is one of my favorites, you can hear a little bit of R&B in this track, but with guitars
Mm.
and the chorus that she was always making catchy music, very catchy. So it's still Fifi Dobson, and she's still rocking. She's still releasing songs. Now on June 16, she's releasing a new single, Totally Rock. You guys gotta listen. And she's
Okay.
great. She's great. So thank you for mentioning Fifi Dobson.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's great. And I
Wow.
think she deserved everything, all the success, because she fought so
Yeah.
hard to have this opportunity. And I think maybe I'm wrong, but she was and she is like one of like the maybe the only one black girl, that the unique black girl doing rock. It's
Uh,
not very common to have this kind of
I
black
don't think
girls
she's the
doing
only
pop
one,
rock
but in
music.
this anti-brainy,
Of course,
yeah,
she's not the
this
only one. Yeah,
anti-brainy
yeah,
wave,
yeah.
we gotta. She's probably the only one.
Okay.
Okay, guys. So now I want to know about the favorites. What you guys really enjoyed in this anti-brainy era. So I gotta know from Mariel and Mauricio. First, Mariel, if you gotta listen to only one album from those pop rock girls, which album would you choose?
Uh, from the ones that we mentioned, because I have someone here that it wasn't mentioned because it was
Okay.
1999, but we will jump into the 90s later. So, staying with the ones that we were talking about, I think I will stay with Michelle Branch's The Spirit
Oh,
Room
it's
album.
beautiful.
Yes. I am very fond of this album. I love Michelle too. I love her second album. I have it too, the Hotel
Yes.
Paper album. But I think that this is the one I listen to the most. So if I had to stay with just one, it would be The
Yeah.
Spirit Room.
Great choice, of course, for me. I love this answer.
Of
You,
course.
Mo?
Okay, for me it's very difficult, but I don't know if pink
Yes, of
it's an
course.
option.
Not the first
Okay,
album. You
okay,
cannot
okay.
choose the
I
first
would.
album.
No, 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 because it has to be
Yes.
pop rock. So I go with Misunderstood. That album was a very important part of my teenage years. And there is a song that is called Lonely Girl. I was so obsessed with that song. I felt so connected with that song. I was like living that song in so many aspects. Very dramatic, but yeah, it would be
That's
Misunderstood. I
cute.
love that
Well,
album.
for me, of course, is Hotel Paper by Michelle Branch. Not a surprise for anyone because it's my favorite album ever.
No.
Please
But
show the album.
I
Show the
will
album,
say the
please.
second one, so is Under My Skin by Avril Lavigne. Uh,
Ah,
yeah,
okay,
because
okay,
I
okay,
didn't
Okay.
okay.
enjoy it as much I did with Hotel Paper, probably, and brings so many memories. And is this one? If Hotel Paper didn't exist in the world, would be this one.
Okay,
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 so
okay, okay.
Okay, okay. Great
thank
choice.
you.
Great choice.
So you guys know that
Great choice.
this
Yeah.
era in music was with a lot of attitude, and the music videos were a huge part of this. So I want to know, Mariel and Mauricio, your favorite music video by anti-brainy moment in music.
Dang. Um, I think mine would be Ashley Simpson's Lala.
Oh, that's very punk.
Yes,
I love that
because
video too.
she was like so, like so free, so naughty, so rebel, and that's how she wanted to portray herself, like an anti
Yes,
Jessica in
yes,
this case. So uh, Jessica was like, I will never have sex before
yeah.
marriage.
It's
So
irresistible.
my
Yeah,
life is like completely, irresistible. So yeah. And Ashley was like, you made me want to go Lala, which
uh
means,
huh.
like having sex. And so in the kitchen and the floors, so I like the idea of being that rebel, and how she played in the video, how she was like acting like all crazy and wild. So yeah, I think it would be Lala by Ashley
Great. And
Simpson.
you, Mao?
Eh,
Well, again, I go with the sad side of me. And I remember at that time I was so depressive, I
It's
don't
the
know.
teenage angst,
And
angst, angst. I don't know the word. Angst.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah, yeah,
angst.
yeah, yeah, it's true. Yeah, yeah, it's true, it's true. And one of my favorite videos at that time was "I'm with You"
Oh,
by Avril Lavigne. Very sad.
it's
She was
bold.
walking,
Yeah,
singing. Yeah, even yeah, it's cold and the message is beautiful, but at the same time it's very sad. So it was funny because at that time I hated April, but at the same time I love it. I love her. So yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I'm with you
Well, for
by Avril
me,
Lavigne.
my favorite music video from this era in pop music is "Behind These Hazel Eyes" by Kelly Clarkson. I don't see Kelly Clarkson as an anti-Britney, but as we said, that sound became the main pop music, and the music video is also
Yeah,
very
of course.
dramatic. She was like in the dirty water,
mm-hmm.
screaming, and for I remember as a teenager that every tiny detail in a music video for me was like, oh, and that part that she get the flowers and put in the girl that the guy was cheating her with.
Oh
For me was
yes.
like, oh my god, she's
Mm-hmm.
so rock and roll. She's full of attitude. I was crazy about this, and I still love the song. And I remember me and my best friend. We had this ritual when we were with this feeling that Mauricio just told us, the teenager pain. We used to grab cups of glass like this and put the song behind these hazel eyes and throw in the wall. Like we said, yeah.
Oh,
Think
really?
about the thing that you hate the most, and we waited for the
Yeah,
chorus of the
a lot
song,
of
like
glasses broken. Yeah.
and everything broken. My mom hated that because I broke a lot of this. Uh,
I can't believe
yes,
it.
yes. So it just brings so many memories to me. But the music video is insane for me. I love that. Well,
Okay,
so
great choice.
there's any
Yeah,
pop rock
totally.
song or album or singer that you think that people would never expect you to like, and you do, like different or underrated or not as usual as Avril and Michelle and those girls? Mariel probably because you are like very underground on the music.
It's hard. That question happens to be a little difficult for me because I'm more into underrated and really rare
Yeah,
bubblegum singers, but I'm not so much into these pop rock um vibes. But I think if someone sees me, would believe that I love, all kinds of pop bubblegum pop music, but they would never believe that I play artists like Sky
yeah,
Sweetnam, for
yeah,
example. So I think she would be an
totally.
example of that because if anyone that sees me or sees my collection, they would be like, "Oh, she's so cheesy. She's like so much into catchy music and this bubblegum pop." But they would never believe that I like music from Sky Sweetnam or I don't know, or Ashley Simpson even because she's like more rock
You're
and
right. Yeah.
yeah, I think that would be my answer because I'm not so much into rare pop rock singers. I
But
will
yeah,
have to
but it's,
jump into that. Or probably I could mention Rachel
yeah,
Ferris,
yeah.
who happens to be like
I am
really
not your
rare.
girl.
Yeah,
Yes.
Rachel Ferris. I am not your girl. You thought that would be. Yes, and she has released a few
Uh,
albums
she
ever
had a
since,
new
and
song. She
people
has a new
doesn't know
song
about
too.
her.
Yes. Butter
Yeah, I haven't
Butterfly.
checked
Yeah.
much of her recent work, so I will have to dig more into that pop rock rare sound. But yeah, I think those would be my
Yeah.
choices.
And
Now
your
it's your turn,
German.
Mao.
Well, I'm lost in this question because you said like no Avril or
Yeah.
Michelle, right?
You gotta surprise me. Surprise
Oh,
our audience.
wow. Wow. Okay, okay. For me, it's very hard because I don't know very well this movement. Like, oh, it would be
Yeah.
Ashley. Is
Yeah,
possible to choose Ashley?
I'm kind of surprised that
Okay,
you like
okay.
Ashley.
Well,
I didn't know that.
okay, okay, okay. Well, to surprise you more, I was a huge fan of Ashley. I don't know is it was because she was the Jessica's sister, and of course, I always love Jessica Simpson. But I was when Mariel was talking about the Lala's video, I was like, oh my God, I remember that time because I was so obsessed with the video. Pieces of Me is one of my favorite songs of all time. So yeah, it would be Ashley Simpson. I used to love her so much. I love this autobiography album. So yeah, it would be
Awesome.
Ashley.
Well, for me, maybe it's surprising, but I don't know because they are not real. Is brats, those dolls.
Okay.
Guys, I know.
But are they
Every
are they
time I
pop
talk about
rock?
those girls, people are laughing at me. But when they play this record, Rock Angels, everyone be like, "Oh, okay, I get it," because this is so good and it's very well produced, and the voices are on point. And if you guys never listen to this, I promise you guys gonna love it.
Yeah, yeah. I remember I remember that song y se
Yeah,
siente
yeah,
ver la
it's so
multitud
good.
en el
Yeah, the English
aire.
version, and it's
Yeah,
so
so good.
good,
Yeah, yeah. And there is a Spanish
and it's
version. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
yeah,
I I love that song. Right now I have like a memory
yeah.
unlock.
So this album is great. I
Yeah.
told I told a friend about it, and he was laughing at me. And now, he has the CD in his house, and it's amazing because
uh,
there's a song here. It could be yours. That is an English version of a song that Belinda recorded. Donde iré yo. This is another pop rock album that I
Okay.
really love it. It's
um,
very like fabricated. All the songs are like a version of another song. But I do love. I can feel that Mariel is not a real a fan of this.
I have my mixed opinions
Okay.
about Belinda. That's why. But yes,
Okay.
but I do know that she has some cool songs. I mean, I
Yeah.
do accept that, but I do not think like she's a very good representation of
Okay.
Mexican singers.
I get it.
That's
I
just
don't know
what I
much
think.
Okay,
about
okay,
Yes.
okay.
her career or person. Only the songs that are huge part of my life, especially the two first albums. It's very special to me. So to finish, I wanna ask you
Mm-hmm.
guys to choose one pop rock song by a girl that describes you. Like, if you gotta put this song on the bio in your Instagram, which song would be? Me, I don't know mine. I gotta think when you guys answer me.
Okay, okay. This is fair.
Okay.
Well,
Uh, well,
very,
I have
very
Okay.
one. I have
hard
one.
question.
I think it would be Heart of Gold by Ashline Hoff because I have been through that. You know, like what Ashline describes in the song of like, who am I to tell you what to do? You're not the kind to
Yeah.
do what you're told. because I'm not anyone to tell you what to do. You will always do whatever you want, and I felt like that in a relationship in the past. So I think that song fits perfectly for me as like a part of my life, and describing a moment when I was in, and
Yes,
I don't know. I think it
that's the
it fits
power of
perfect
music.
for
I
me.
love
So
this.
that's why I
Yes,
yes, yes,
you,
totally.
Mao.
And what about Mao?
Well, I'm gonna open my heart right now. This song like touched me so much, and it's a
Oh,
family
it's
portrait by Pink.
beautiful.
I was so affected by my parents' divorce at that time. So that song described every feeling that I had at that time. And even now, when I listen to that song, it's like almost impossible not to cry. And that's that's the reason I was saying like I was opening my heart because yeah, it's a very touching song for me. Like when I hear the lyrics, it's like, oh my God, what can I do for you to be together and be a family? And it's very hard. I can't believe I'm saying this. But yeah, when you said that, Lucas, that a song that describe us, I think this song describe a very important part of my
Oh, beautiful.
teenage
I
years.
almost cry.
Yeah. Okay, okay, friends.
Okay.
But cheer
Oh,
up, cheer up. It was a sad story,
yeah.
but now I'm
Beautiful.
good.
Well, I thought about one song that might describe me in this world of pop rock. There's a lot actually, but for me would be "Forever" by the Veronicas. Uh, I I really love those girls too. I have
Okay.
the CDs here
Okay.
somewhere in this mess that is here right now.
Oh, I want to
You want to
see
see?
them. I want to see them.
Oh, for
Yeah, yeah, of
lucky you, I
course.
found fast. This is the first one. Forever
Oh,
is
yeah,
part of
yeah,
this, and
yeah.
the song is all about "Come on, baby, we ain't gonna live forever," and it's something that I try to think every single day in my life. Uh, that I want to live now. I want to do now the things that I want because we have only one life, as I believe. I don't know,
Hmm.
but it's what we have right here and right now. And this song is very happy, very up tempo, but there's that message in the lyrics. Live now. You don't know how many time you have, so it's "Forever" by the Veronicas.
Great.
Oh, I have to listen to that song
Yeah,
because
and
I don't
is
know that song.
is
You know it,
the
Mariel. You
production
you
is
you
very
know
similar
Mariel.
to
I
Mariel Raven and all the things we had in 2005.
Okay, because
Okay.
from the Veronicas, I only know that song that is very
Untouched.
known, very famous.
Okay.
Untouched.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the only song that I know.
Untouched. Yeah. Well, do
No,
you
no,
have
no,
more
no. It's
questions, Lucas?
okay.
No? Okay. Okay.
Okay,
No, I just wanted
perfect.
to tell you guys that now that we just finished this video, Lucas is going to leave on the description of this
Yes.
video another playlist that he made of pop rock girls. It includes singers and groups. So don't forget to check it out because it's really cool. I've been listening to it the whole week. Uh so I can listen to some of those that I didn't know so much. So Lucas is our guy here that wants to that will
Yeah,
answer you all of your questions about pop rock because that's his thing. And he also
Yes.
sings pop rock. So if you guys haven't heard of
yeah.
Lucas, please do yourselves a
Thank you.
favor. Thank you. Yes. Well, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video as much as we did. I learned a lot today because I like Mao said, this is not my area of expertise. So I love learning something different, and this time by Lucas, who is our expert in this matter. And I hope that you guys can subscribe, give us a big thumbs up, like, share, with your friends, anything, please. Thank you so much for all the feedback we've been getting for
Yes.
the past videos. It's been helping us a lot to grow as podcasters. And thank you, Mal, and thank you, Lucas, for being here in another
Thank you.
video of
Thank you
Ready
so
Set
much.
Pop.
I want to say thank you for guys to allow me talk about this subject that I love so much. People can listen to the playlist, as Mariel said. We have almost 300 girls on that. Uh, and go check and my songs too. Thank you, Mariel, for saying that. I love to sing. I will put in the description too. You guys can
Yes,
check. And thank you so much, guys. I had amazing time with you.
it's been great. Mal,
Thank
what?
you, thank you, thank you, guys. I think Lucas has a lot to say about this topic. It's like me talking about R&B. It's like her thing. It's like his thing. Sorry. And well, maybe we have like another time to talk about more about pop rock because
Yes.
it's a huge a huge subject. But I'm so happy because as in every episode I say I learn a lot from you. So yeah, thank you so much. Thank you to the audience. Don't forget to subscribe and thumbs up too. Thank you guys. Love you so much. And this is amazing for me.
Love you too. It was great seeing you guys.
Bye
See you next
bye.
episode.
Bye.
Bye.